Hello, everybody, and welcome back to an all-new ThyGap podcast episode, ThyGap Thursdays. Subscribe and share. Welcome. My name is Bogus Noog, and as always with me is...
Being Brute.
Brute. This week, we are doing Discretion. It's not easy.
It's not. It's not easy at all. And I'm not going to tell you why. Because I'm discreet.
Exactly. That's the end of the episode, guys. Subscribe and share.
Please.
Just know that discretion is important. That's it. We don't need to talk any more than that.
Have you ever heard of one-liner jokes?
Yeah.
This is a one-liner podcast.
That's it.
It's a new format altogether.
Uh-huh.
Considering, we did a research, Bogus, on this, that the attention span of internet users is drastically dropping.
Absolutely.
Which is why YouTube is coming up with shorts.
Like a goldfish.
Like Twitter is coming up with reels.
Yeah.
Etc. Etc. So here is ThyGap, like always, setting up trends.
Absolutely. Yes.
One-liner podcast episodes.
Never before, and probably people will copy after.
Yeah.
But what we are not discreet about, Brute, is our award-winning socials. We cannot be discreet about this. We have to get it out there. Brute, on Instagram we are.
@_ThyGap.
On Twitter and Vero.
@ThyGap.
And our email.
mindthygap@gmail.com, and please don't tell this to anyone.
That's
Be
it.
discreet.
Be discreet about it, but subscribe and share.
And
write to us everywhere.
And every day.
Yeah. So now that indiscreet part is out of the way,
yes,
the world famous "It's Not Easy" template,
right?
As is our want, we always begin with the context.
I thought we were starting with the meaning of discreet.
Yeah,
but after that, okay.
Part of
we
this.
don't follow the order anyhow.
Exactly. I was being discreet about it.
Oh,
but
I think between you and me, we should not be
there
discreet.
are a lot of secrets.
Yes, but not on the recording.
Yes.
But nevertheless, that's the whole experience aspect of listening to
We're
ThyGap
just too
podcast.
professional, bro.
Too professional.
Too professional. So
the context of it's not easy, discreet. What do we mean by discreet?
Yes.
Because I think we kind of touched upon it in our banter of the whole topic itself, which is the internet.
Yeah.
Is creating a culture, offline and online, of living in glass houses.
Yeah.
Which is figuratively making the whole society roam around naked. And when that happens, there is no element of surprise.
Yeah.
There is no element of sudden truth,
right?
Moments of realization, epiphanies,
aha moments,
eureka, which evidently came out of a naked guy
running on the street. Yeah, being totally indiscreet.
Absolutely indiscreet. But never told why he was shouting eureka, which was the discreet part.
Yeah.
Nevertheless, so this is what internet is forcing us to do.
Yeah, the word discreet itself means being careful about something, being circumspect about something, and not being too public about stuff, which is more colloquial.
Yeah, don't be too open. Don't keep talking about yourself.
Exactly. Not everything.
So that is what we are talking about when we say discreet. Why is it not easy in today's day and age?
Yes.
Of making sure that you do things for yourself for the sake of yourself.
Right.
And not make it a whole fucking social event of, hypothetical followers or fans.
Yep.
And in the course, basically lose our value.
Yeah. Too much supply, kills the demand.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So let's get into first reason as to what makes discretion not so easy today, Brute. Let's start off with excitement.
Excitement isn't a topic in itself of ThyGap.
Hey, excitement, it's not easy.
It's not easy. Excitement, you got to control your nerves, man. Hold your horses.
Yeah.
The whole problem with being discreet, Bogus, I think anything which is worth being discreet has a gray shade to it.
Yeah.
It's like, as kids, you form a small group or you see a bunch of people doing something taboo. And when I say taboo, it can be smoking.
Yeah, it's a situational thing.
Yeah, it's a very situational thing.
At every given point of time, some things are forbidden, some things are looked down upon, some things are sanctioned.
Right.
But it doesn't necessarily mean that these things were morally in the right place.
Right. And the example which I wanted to talk about, which actually happened to me in my personal life, is my grandfather was this chain smoker.
Okay.
And it was forbidden for me to smoke. So it was like, look at your grandfather, he smokes and all, but don't smoke.
Yeah.
So obviously that would kind of make me curious. And there was a whole deal about smoking. And I was hardly like 8, 9 years old or 10 years old.
Yeah.
No sense of why is this such a bad thing? If he can do it, I should be able to do it kind of a age. So I flicked one smoke from his pack. And then I thought I was hiding behind a tree, and I lit the smoke. I tried smoking. I hated the taste.
Yeah.
The whole 9 yards.
Yeah.
And then I was super excited about pulling off this whole operation.
Right.
Of flicking the smoke in the afternoon when everybody was sleeping during the summer holidays.
Yeah.
And then going to a place where I thought I was supremely hidden. And then trying it out. And then now I'm super excited to go and tell it to people.
Yeah.
And the whole discreetness about that operation, I wanted to break it almost immediately. So what I did, the next thing is I'm jumping off the wall, going to my friend's house, calling him out. And I'm like, dude, do you know what I just did? And this idiot goes back to his mom. And you're like, do you know what Brute did? He went and smoked his grandfather's cigarette.
Right.
Now, this idiot's mother, who's also very close to my mother because they're neighbors, comes to my mother and she's like, do you know what Brute did?
Yeah.
And over. Like the whole circle of life
That's about
of that event.
It was a
Between
pre-internet
the
social media in action.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The physical form of social media back then. So the lesson there is the whole point of discreetness is one, to create an experience or a memory and then cut out the excitement for others and just keep it to yourself.
Right.
And there are multiple examples. The thing that has to be highlighted here, Bogus, is when you do something this raunchy or randy, you would want to show it off.
Yeah.
Which is the biggest villain for a discrete ideology, right? When you are doing something in discreteness, you do not want it to be an activity that you want to show it off.
Right.
Because the moment you show it off, it can most probably be trouble for you.
Exactly.
And once again, I blame the internet. Today, we are all about showing off. We are all about, know me. Know how many moles I have on my body. Like, see what I eat. What I shit. Fucking what I sneeze.
Yeah.
Look at the diseases I have.
Exactly.
The kind of nonsense that you see. Like, you're not supposed to tell that to me, dude. Like, I don't need to know this.
I mean, the conditioning, the social conditioning, social engineering has gotten so bad that now you can just start getting people to get indiscreet about anything in their life. All you need to say is, this is a new trend that's going on.
It's a challenge.
Yeah, it's a challenge. So the first step is you do a jumping jack. And second step is you hold a lemon by the spoon or whatever. And third step is you give your mother's maiden name and her date of birth and your all these.
And the fifth step is, can you tell your bank account details without even looking at it?
Exactly.
And then voila, you're on the streets.
That's what
you're selling whiteners.
So it is that bad now on the internet. But the excitement aspect is like there is an unspoken or to any sneaky thing that you do as a child.
Yeah.
I mean, all of us went through this experience where we were trying to be sneaky about something. And there was that excitement of being caught. While you're doing it, there's a slight thrill of, we might get caught anytime. So let's do it. That's the reason why we've watched movies like Ocean's 11.
Yeah.
And we love that whole excitement of, look, they actually
pulled it off.
Yeah. Are they going to get away with it? Are they going to pull it off? So even after you pull it off, you have the excitement or thrill that, oh shit, I can't believe I actually just pulled it off.
Now people need to know what I pulled off.
But now, what good is it if someone doesn't know?
Yeah.
And that's the reason why serial killers get caught, because after a while they get bored and they start putting their own signature into it. They start making up riddles and puzzles for officers to solve and all that shit.
Yeah, just out of curiosity, Bogus, because we are on that particular example.
Right.
Why do your examples have to be always dark? Why do your examples always have to involve a serial killer or a kidnapper or some kind of crime? Why can't it be simple, like smoking your grandfather's cigarettes, for example?
Hey, you never know. I'm just probably being discreet about it. Subscribe and share.
You don't say that when I'm stuck in a room with you.
Exactly.
Okay, Bogus. Yeah. You don't use that kind of threats.
Where are the bodies buried? Hey, I'm not going to tell. That's the
all
excitement.
I can say is they're in and around this longitude and latitude.
Yeah. I don't want to make it boring.
Yeah.
There needs to be some excitement.
Yeah. Then what is your skill in that?
Exactly. There is the thrill of
the example that I was thinking of when you were talking about it was, every person, I think at some point flicked off some money from their parents' purse.
Absolutely, yeah.
Right? And when you pull it off the first time, then you go for a higher amount the second time.
Right.
Then it goes to a substantial amount where you're like, now I need to take my friends out for a treat to celebrate
that
I've hit the saturation. picked up the biggest currency.
Yeah.
That this needs to be celebrated among people. It's almost like a social service in your head. Like, now all my friends will be happy because of me, because I dared to do this.
Right.
And that's probably is when you get caught.
Exactly. Yeah.
But having said that, because that's a very interesting, case study where you can only maintain the discreteness to a point where it hits boredom.
Yeah.
Where it's no more discreet, it's just a habit.
Yeah.
Which is, again, doesn't make it easy because you need to figure out the balance about how do I maintain that discreetness.
Yeah. It's only in the initial stages of getting away with something that you actually feel excitement.
Yeah.
If you're getting away with it every time, then that also kills the thrill in it.
Yeah.
You
start aiming high. Either it kills the thrill or you start aiming high. Make it challenging for yourself.
Yeah, you want that excitement. You want that kick.
Dopamine kick.
Exactly. So that is something that's always involved as a dynamic of excitement in discretion. And I think if you look at it we went into slightly dark examples. It doesn't necessarily have to be that dark.
We know. You did, Bogus. Why do you have to drag me into your dark examples? It's not. It's you. I told very naive, relatable, nostalgic examples.
Bro, when you signed up for this, you basically signed up for half the damages also.
This is $1 million question. Let's address the elephant in the room, Bogus. Right. Where the fuck did I sign up for anything?
That's a secret.
That's discreet.
That's discreet.
Discreet.
But yeah, why is that excitement important? Why are we even talking about this? Bro, I think I'm talking about it because as you get older, right, as you reach your 30s, you are coming...
Oh, that's older? I thought you were going to go like 50, 60s.
Oh, no, that's way beyond. But as you hit your 30s itself, I would say mid 30s, if you are living a wholesome enough life, in the sense you're not completely stuck in a well where, you're not exploring much, you're not learning much.
Yeah.
If you're living a wholesome enough life where you're learning and you're constantly exposing yourself to what's going on in the world and all that, there comes a point where you've seen it all, and you see the patterns, you see repetition.
Yes.
You don't see novelty as much.
Yep.
Everything becomes routine every day of the week. I know what I'm going to be doing. I know I'm going to be working. And when it comes to the weekend,
it's redundant.
It's redundant. I know if I'm a single guy, I'll probably be bugging my friends to meet,
you up,
hang up, or hang out.
Yeah, hang up. That's what happened with you, Bogus.
Exactly.
Your discreetness is not so discreet anymore.
Right. So hang out with you and all that. And if you're a married guy, then of course you know
it's the
what's
same.
coming.
No, it's the same. You still are calling up your friends and like, yeah, dude, let's hang out. It's been long since I saw your dirty faces.
Yeah.
Please take me out with you.
But also, come the weekend, some routine duties are going to be coming up. So that element of surprise, that element of novelty wears out.
Yeah.
And that is, I would say, to a well-lived life, a well-exposed life, once you're mid-30s itself, you start seeing that. Imagine what happens when you hit 45. Imagine what happens when you hit 55. It's just going to get more and more familiar and rote. And familiarity breeds contempt, is what they say. So the more you see, less and less number of things are surprising you, then where are you getting your source of excitement in your life?
Drugs.
And why do you need a source of excitement? Then if you don't have a source of excitement, what is basically maintaining that vitality in your life, which is maintaining that youthful vigor in your life, which impacts your family life, it impacts your work life, it impacts basically how you approach your life in general. If you're missing that joie de vivre, as the French say, the joy of life.
French are going to say that.
They keep saying.
Have you seen the France economy right now? Are you seeing what's happening in France?
Yeah. So when you miss that, right, in your life, excitement, you replace that with words like vitality. You replace that with words like youthfulness, youthful vigor. If you miss that, then that's almost, for a guy, that's almost like his testosterone is dropping to zero. In metaphorical terms.
Oh, I thought this was your personal experience.
No, in metaphorical terms. Because if you don't have that excitement, and that is why we're even talking about excitement. Why is it important? Because as you keep getting older, you're going to be running out of things.
And you can hear yourself complaining about, life has become so boring. It's not exciting, etc., etc. That is your first indication.
Yeah.
I can't really think of if it has happened to me yet.
For me, it has happened in certain aspects. For example, movies. Now, it takes a lot for me to be surprised by a movie. because there were movies that when I watched as a kid, I enjoyed a lot because for me it was novel.
Yeah.
You know, the tropes of storytelling, they were more novel.
Was still being
when
formed
I was younger.
rather.
Yeah. So the same movie, someone middle-aged, if they would have seen, they would have been like, what is this? I've been watching this for ages.
Yeah.
For me, it was new because I was a kid. Now I'm in the stage where I'm looking at most of the movies saying, dude, I've already seen this story. I've already heard this.
Oh, for me, it's cricket that way.
Cricket also.
Yeah, for me, cricket has done that to me where now it can also be because of the volume of cricket that's happening around and you're exposed to.
That is true, but also other ways also it applies.
Yeah, the quality of the game in itself. Yes, you do get surprised by this one odd match that happens here and there, but in general, you're not. I mean, you almost can.
It takes a lot
to really take you to the edge of the seat.
Exactly.
Yeah, but this is not an episode about excitement, Bogus.
I know.
It's
just one aspect of discretion that is
right, and you typically always have digressed by giving a monologue that is also used as a sleeping pill by our audience. What is the other reason why it's not easy to be discreet in today's day and age?
I would say the whole dynamic of social media and what it is built for.
Mm-hmm.
It is built for the intent behind it is to make it comparative, to make it competitive, to make it gossipy.
I don't have a problem of it making you competitive, but I think the comparative thing I agree to.
Yeah, but I'm not judging it also. I'm just saying that the people who built it with this intent. Mm-hmm. It's not like they were building it with some utopian intent like, community spirit will increase. You know, people will come together as one and they will build marvels and wonders of the world. They'll find the cure for cancer.
Yeah.
This was not at all.
On a Facebook group.
Yeah.
With an Instagram reel.
Yeah. So the basis of social media was, at least if you look at Facebook, Zuck just wanted to know who the hot chicks in his college were going out with.
Yeah. That's
what
as simple as it could get. Yeah.
That's it. That's the most primal desire that he had.
Right.
And he designed the social media dynamic around that.
And looking at his current partner, he failed the purpose. Horribly.
I mean, the purpose
$1 billion empire.
It pivoted.
The $1 billion empire.
Right.
And the core purpose of it is still not served.
Starting from, who the hot chicks are hanging out with.
Yeah.
It's gone to, what are their credit card numbers and what products do they like to buy?
What is it that these guys are talking about once again?
Yeah. What are they buying? What political ideas are they having? It's gone to that level.
Yeah.
That's it. Just a pivot.
And that is completely discarding the discreetness of anybody's life.
Yeah. So the point is, when social media is been designed for social engineering, for people to be indiscreet, and for people to dilute the currency of discretion.
Yeah.
What we mean by that is, there is a lot of power to being discreet in life.
Correct.
The main thing is element of surprise.
Absolutely.
When people don't see you struggle, and one fine day you come out of the darkness with a new find, a new deliverable, a new project, then it catches them off guard in such a way that you don't have to do any more marketing. Like, it's going to take care of itself.
Yeah, it's like they didn't even know you were in the competition.
Exactly.
So you just, wild card entry.
You would have been that typical success story where to other people, you're just overnight success.
Yeah.
But for you, you've been toiling in the background for like 6 years, 10 years, whatever.
Right.
But if they see you as an overnight success, the huge advantage with that is you end up looking like someone who has pulled off a miracle. Who you end up looking like someone who has done the impossible.
You're walking on water at this point.
Yeah. So automatically people tend to put you on a pedestal.
Yeah.
Saying, I probably wouldn't be able to do what this guy did, because out of nowhere he just came out of this.
Right.
Whereas they don't know the story that you've been eating failure after failure for many years.
Right.
Before this. And they don't need to know also. They just need to know your successes.
They shouldn't know.
They shouldn't know.
They shouldn't know, according to me.
Exactly.
And
because it makes you more human.
Exactly. And the thing about discreetness, I don't think people generally talk about this in this perspective. It needs to become a habit.
Yeah.
Being discreet is not just a one-time activity.
Yeah.
You need to learn to make it a habit of not, revealing your agenda or, your day-to-day activities.
Exactly.
And I've always...
When there is no reason to.
When there is no reason to.
That's the whole thing. Like, you have organized crime, secret societies, all these kind of entities.
For no reason.
For no reason. Like, they They always operate on the principle of a need-to-know basis.
They form the society, they make it secret, and they get together, have some rave parties, and then they start ideating about, let's figure out a vision for our society.
Yeah. But how they operate internally is they always operate on a need-to-know basis.
Correct.
That I think people should take away. That is the key to discretion. Need to know.
ThyGap is an institute of learning from the wrong examples.
I mean, yeah.
Serial killers, kidnappers, drugs,
mafia.
Now secret societies, organized crime, and what else? Like,
Exactly.
What is it that is going to come out of this? The dark side of ThyGap, guys. The most awaited episode in about 15 years.
So the key word is need to know.
Need to know, yeah.
There's any information, new information about you. Is there a need for people to know? Because social media is such a fucked up place now, because as an individual, in real life, you probably will be wearing many hats. You're a professional employee here, then you're a family member here, then you're a straight member of society here, then with your friends, you're an avara, lucha kind of a guy.
Yeah.
You're catcalling and all that.
Yeah.
You have all these dimensions to you, but then all of these different people from different walks of your life are connected to you through social media.
It's such an irony that it's coming from you who's like a freaking cylinder who has no fucking dimension to your personality. You have one single tone deadpan face.
Right.
Whether you're excited or sad or depressed or happy or horny or whatever.
Exactly.
It's a great observation. I really, tip my hat for having this knowledge that there are other dimensions that people can have.
Yeah.
Knowing that, this is where, I start believing stuff like one who can't do teach.
And why am I very happy with you taking that interpretation? That means my discretion works.
Plaguing our own episode very hard.
Exactly. And there's a good point behind this, because one of the biggest advantages to discretion, like the power of discretion, is also underestimation. Like,
of how deep it goes.
No, people don't understand how delicious underestimation is. Like, I get such a kick out of underestimation that I cannot explain, because what happens with underestimation is, I am not doing anything. You, with the limited information that I'm providing you, you are walking away with wild, incorrect assumptions about me and my situation, which causes you to be unprepared.
Correct.
When I come through the door.
Yeah.
What is happening with India, or what has been happening with India in the Western media, mainstream media, for example, is something that I enjoy so much. I've always enjoyed that so much. I don't know why.
The fact that they're trying to now be a part of cricketing nations, or...
No, the fact that they've always underestimated. Even when we made that huge Chandrayaan...
108 satellites.
This thing, what their reaction was in the Western media, they made a cartoon of an Indian milkman with his cow. There's a room called Elite Space Club of the World. And there are all these Western white people, sitting inside and reading paper and doing their elite shit.
Yeah.
And then there is this desi cowherd who comes with a cow, and he is knocking on the door. Hey, let me in.
Let me in. Yeah.
I am also in the space program. Let me in.
Right.
That is their interpretation of that brute.
Right.
When in reality, we have so far outpaced them in satellite delivery and all that.
Right.
It is funny.
Right.
It is a joke. And there were so many people insulted by that. Look at them.
They made a whole web series on that.
Exactly. Oh, look at these guys.
Yeah.
They insult us. We are offended.
Yeah.
That even after so many achievements in India, you people are not giving us value.
Yeah.
Why do you give a fuck about whether he's giving you a value or not? You know the reality.
Yeah, the economy is dying.
The reality is where you are right now. These people either deliberately are not acknowledging because they don't like your success.
That threatens their position.
So they're doing out of a threat or insecurity or a kind of that, or they really don't know. And I'm absolutely perfectly fine with both scenarios. I'm in fact more happier if they don't know.
Yeah. A similar example is that whole Joe Rogan episode where there's this guy who was talking about, you really want to know what it means to be an Insta star? you need to check out Virat Kohli's profile. And then he compared with their god, their social media.
LeBron and all
that. And Joe Rogan, out of all the people, I didn't expect that. He was genuinely shocked that there's this one guy from India who had so many followers and so rich and all that. And you know what was his rationale of the whole scenario? He like, that's what oil money makes you do.
Exactly.
That's what is oil money, bro. It's mad money. Oil money is mad money. Like it is not. It's not
because the match was being done
in Dubai. It was played in Dubai, and I'm like, you got the whole thing ass backwards, bro. It is not oil money. This is something else. This is the sheer volumes that we can produce on our own indigenous talent.
Right.
You can't even compete trying to sell that whole, brand or persona across the globe.
Yeah.
Right.
And they get so many things, so many basic things wrong about our country.
Yeah.
I always enjoy.
But again, see, I don't complain about them because they get so many basic things wrong about their own country.
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm not complaining. I enjoy it.
Yeah.
I love it because
it's a great thing.
They are
full power to them.
What's happening there is because of this wrong information, right? Because they're fed information about India on only us through a single lens.
Yeah.
They are severely underestimating what's going on.
Correct.
Not India, like what's going on, the reality.
Yeah.
Basically. That's what it makes you do.
Yeah.
When you have limited information and you take assumptions, you start underestimating your enemy. And your enemy, meanwhile, is preparing. And all of a sudden, before you realize, holy shit, Visa and MasterCard are no longer the big players. Like there's a RuPay now.
Yeah.
And all that money that used to come to us, now it's going there.
Yeah. Now it's within them.
It's within their country. Now Visa and MasterCard are planning to sue. Where are you going to sue?
Yeah.
Which country are you going to sue in?
Right.
It's too late.
Correct.
There's the same thing that happened with our nuclear program also. Like they severely underestimated. And all the while in Pokhran under the ground, our people put tents, camouflage tents and all, and they were doing their testing.
Correct.
This is something that China used as a strategy where they purposely downplayed their achievements until they got that factory status.
Yeah, including their COVID affected patients.
Also that. So the power of underestimation, I don't see...
comes out of discreteness.
Yeah, I don't see enough people realizing, or I've not come across anyone underlining this,
But again, just to clarify, the power of underestimating you, right?
Yeah.
Is what we're talking about.
Exactly.
Like what you're saying. Yeah, I agree to that.
Yeah, so with the social media thing, the way it is designed... Now, we also talked about what is the power of discretion. Like you have the element of surprise. If people see you working out your Insta photos every day, if they see you eating food every day, or doing mundane shit every day, then there is no value being added to the actual good thing that you do or the actual worthwhile thing that you achieve. That also becomes just another post.
Or looking at it the other way around, you're actually keeping your sad life more discreet.
Yeah.
It's a decoy.
Yeah.
Which again is not a great plan off the bat.
Exactly.
The thing that I get very annoyed with social media is the inconsequential information that people put out.
Yeah.
You are talking about food and all. I still let it go. I see pictures of tea that they're having in the morning. I see pictures of coffee that they have.
Right.
And then there is this unnecessary philosophical fucking write-up that is put.
Yeah.
Saying that, I got up in the morning and, while I'm having the coffee, I realized life is so short and I should finish this coffee fast and then go have my dump.
Right.
And I'm like, there is zero purpose to this.
Yeah.
There is zero intent behind this. If not anything else, all I get out of it is you had your coffee.
Exactly. There is zero speciality.
There is nothing.
And the worst offense for me is pictures of themselves. Okay, you're standing in front of Mount Everest base camp and you're taking a picture.
Great job.
Yeah. I'll give you something. You're about to do bungee jumping and you're taking a picture.
Yeah.
That's a special moment.
Worth not being discreet.
Yeah, that's a special moment. You have some currency, you have some value there.
Yeah.
If it is just fucking you.
In the mirror.
That's it.
With the camera along you.
Exactly.
Not necessary.
Who cares about that?
If you do, just keep it for yourself. Because nobody else does. And the problem, again, it's a rabbit hole. Stop encouraging this shit.
Yeah.
Stop liking those pictures.
Yeah.
Start, pointing out that you just waited not just your time, but even my time, by just showing how well you look in the mirror. Just because not you're good looking, because your mirror is clean. That's all I get.
And there was nothing special about your bathroom selfie today versus your bathroom selfie tomorrow. Are you wearing a Swarovski crystal encrusted dress?
Nope.
There is nothing special. It's the same bullshit clothes that I see you in. And it's the same bullshit clothes that I saw you on some other day. It is the same thing that I'm seeing. Why am I seeing this bullshit when I see you every day?
And they're monetizing this stuff. And that's where I have problem with the institutes which are doing this.
I mean, their intent, like we talked about it.
Again,
their intent is totally different.
Right. We kind of are digressing a little. But
no, it's not a digression because it's an important point. If people figure out, the tool that I'm using, the social network that I'm using, their intent behind it is this. And if I'm putting out everything of my life into social media, then that means all the people that I know from different walks of life where I wear different hats are now seeing this one version of me. So if I have nothing that I'm discreet about in life, what does that mean? That means that I got so sucked into this vicious cycle of social media and oversharing.
The tornado.
Of oversharing, that now there is nothing new about me for me to put out. There's nothing discreet about me. So because of that, I'm not getting any excitement. I'm not getting any... Okay, this is my point. Sorry. When we know that...
serial killer point.
No, when we know that the social media was created with a certain intent.
Finding hot chicks.
And
it pivoted.
When we know there's not really... When you look at the greater scale of things, it is not really created for a positive intent. It is not created for you to be honest, brutally honest about what's going on in your life.
Right.
So you're not getting that expression vented out in your life. So you're rather getting sucked into this trap of manufacturing, moments of fake happiness. So there is some real void. There is some reality that you're hiding, that you're not putting up on social media. Okay. Now, is that finding expression anywhere in your life? Because if you're completely on social media and there's nothing you're discreet about, then all the stuff that you're hiding from social media, where is that finding expression?
Tear glands.
Where is that finding a ventation?
Dark rooms.
So that is the real important thing, because if there is something that we don't vent about or express about, then ultimately that's going to get bottled up. And once it gets bottled up, that is where we start getting imbalanced in life and we start fucking up here and fucking up there.
The follow-up point or probably a continuation of that is, if I have to look at it from the it's not easy perspective. When you do that, when you get sucked into that tornado of oversharing, off the bat, because you've lost your ability to be discreet about anything worthwhile, you are one among the sheep. And it only takes you so much time to realize that you're one among the sheep. And once you realize that, then there is this overwhelming baggage of not being interesting, not being special, and being absolutely exposed and naked. That is what, like I said earlier, being discreet or maintaining a certain discreetness about you has to become a habit.
Right.
Anything that is blocking that in you should kind of be discarded or kind of be sidetracked a little. And social media makes it very difficult for you to actually sidetrack it. I literally have zero activity on social media now, in the sense of me posting things.
Right.
My activity is all about consumption. For me, it's a consumption game.
Right.
Just to see how idiotic the world is going and how fast we're going to end ourselves. That's all I have. So now, when I initially, stopped being very active, I used to start getting messages like, are you fine? Is everything all right?
Right.
Just for the fuck of it, I played around like, nah, dude, things are not good. I'll tell you sometime. When we meet, I'm going to let you know it's a lot of things happening.
Right.
And then that's enough. The fact that it's that little sorrow that is sowing seeds in my life is enough for people to come behind me like, dude, tell me I'm there for you. Like, let me know. I know it's bad. I not everybody did it. People who knew me, who met me on a normal day, they knew that I was fucking around or whatever.
Right.
But there was a small population of people who started getting restless because they didn't know what was happening.
Right.
And I was not willing to tell it.
Right.
That is where the power comes from. That is where now they are in the backseat, waiting for me to show up with their assumed versions or avatars of me.
Right.
They're like, oh, you know what? I'm sure this guy is doing drugs. Or you know what? He had a heartbreak. You know what? And it's never a positive scenario. Nobody ever thinks that, you know what, he's working on himself and he's going to come out as, whatever, like a businessman. Or
he's not been posting for a while. That means he's really happy.
Yeah, never. Yeah, he doesn't care.
Yeah.
Everybody is like, something is off with him.
Yeah.
So that is how normal it has become for you to be active on a social media, or that is the gauge for you to be normal.
Right.
It's like you don't go to school couple of days, people are worried that if you're fallen sick or not, which is rational.
Yeah.
But it's like you don't go to school couple of days and now people like, dude, he's dying.
Yeah.
Right? It's completely two different things.
Right.
Which is where I think if you look at it in another way, maintaining discreetness is probably easier today than probably before, because you're always meeting people in person. There's only so much you can hide.
Right.
And there is a lot of communication which was meaningful communication. Rather like, oh, I like your post or I share a meme. And my response is also in some third party language.
Yeah.
So that is what is not going to make it easy for you if you fall into the trap of that social torpedo of oversharing.
Yeah. One of the biggest, secrets of life or the goals of life is basically it comes down to agency. It comes down to control. How much control do you have over your life?
Yeah.
And your circumstances?
Yeah.
That also translates to how much freedom do you have?
Yeah.
And what that really translates to in simple English.
Please speak simple English. Don't again tell, this is the serpentium of the common consciousness of some nonsense. Just speak in simple English.
If you can have your cake and eat it too, that is when you can say you're winning at life. Basically, it comes down to that. In the most simplest of examples, right? Or the most generalized of terms. If you can have your cake and eat it too.
Yeah.
Which is you're not compromising.
Correct.
You're getting both fruits.
Correct.
Now, that could bring about a question like, is it moral or is it right to have your cake and eat it too? Should I be even attempting that? I would say absolutely. Where you can judge for yourself that it is not really crossing any boundaries, crossing any lines, into the wrong side. Wherever you can have your cake and eat it too,
just do it.
You should go for that. That is the first thing you should aim at.
Yeah.
After that, if there is any compromise, okay, fine.
Which brings me...
Do it.
Which brings me to this point. You know what else being discreet is associated with? Being selfish.
Yeah.
And I never understood that. There is no contractual agreement which you sign.
Right.
I'm going to tell everything about me.
Yeah.
You don't have to.
You don't have to.
You don't have to. Which is just like kind of supporting the point which you said. Like if you get your cake, fucking eat it first.
Yeah.
For yourself. You don't have to cut and share and, do the socialistic thing. Because if your tummy is still empty,
right,
then nobody gives a fuck once the cake is over whether you've eaten or not. Nobody's going to come and ask you.
Yeah. And what I mean by having your cake and eat it too, in the discretion example is, we've talked about for everything you need to have a way to vent out in your life. Nothing should get bottled up.
True.
That is not a good idea, not a good direction to go in.
Yeah.
So then that might bring about the question, well, if you're being discreet about things, isn't that bottling up because you're keeping secrets?
Let's break it down.
That is where we say have your cake and eat it too. So be discreet about things to the outside world, to the social media world.
Yeah.
But then always have like one or max two trusted people in your life.
Yeah.
Where you can go and vent out. You can share the joy or you can share the thrill or excitement of the discretion in your life.
Right.
Of the things that you are getting away with.
Right.
Where
all bets are off.
Where all bets are off. Yeah. Of the joy or the thrill in that.
Correct.
So when you actually use these one or two people who you really trust to vent out this stuff in your life that you can't put it on social media, then what happens is you are being discreet to the outside world, where you probably are going to get the advantage or the power of discretion because you're going to make sudden entries.
Right.
Unexpected. The
appearances.
The element of surprise.
Right.
And also you're going to have the advantage of being underestimated by people.
True.
Once they underestimate, they're not going to prepare against you.
Amen.
And then you're also you're eating the cake by actually venting out all that discretion and, telling a friend. So to use a dark example, if there's a serial killer again,
he'll always have an accomplice.
But if no one knows that, he's pulled off the perfect murder or he's pulled off 45 perfect murders, then what? He's not getting
there is no achievement.
End achievement, that end fruit. He's not eating the cake. He's just having it, but he's not eating it. So that's the difference. So you use one or two trusted people to vent out and express the things that you can't express to others, so that you have that balance as an individual. So it comes back to you being the priority.
So you've never thought about a better example than a serial killer? Like never.
I mean,
you couldn't say that there is a burglar who burgled a lot of houses,
right?
But nobody knows that. You just can't think about anything lesser than Nazi Holocaust. Your bracket is what? Serial killers to Nazi Holocaust, Auschwitz, and then this psychometric exercises or experiments done on real humans.
Yeah.
Like, what kind of books do you read, dude?
Can't help it. I mean, this is what pricks people's ears up. As soon as you talk about this shit.
Because it's not a question where I'm expecting an answer. It's a judgment.
This is what gets their attention, bro. Marketing is not easy. Future episode coming up.
This is what gets the attention of the wrong people.
Yeah.
Okay? Not the audience.
I mean, we'll take anyone we can get at this point. We're still in
Desperation, it's not easy.
Yeah.
Fuck everything. Desperation, it's not easy.
Imagine us being the kings of discretion and we're coming out, even recording an episode on discretion.
Yeah.
That's gone this long.
Yeah.
That's, we are putting our
heart and soul out.
Yeah, we're putting ourselves out there.
We sold our soul to social media. That's hypocrisy. It's not easy. You know how many things you need to believe in and then go against it, and you lose track of things. Again, I don't know why we are covering that episode. But great points, Bogus. All of them which I can discreetly disagree to.
Yeah, and we had to talk about discretion at the same time, not be too indiscreet ourselves.
Yes.
So that
it's a catch-22.
Not easy.
Not easy at all. Not easy.
It's not easy-ception going on in this episode.
Yeah.
But yeah, those are those are the points that we can think of now, bro. If we have any more, we'll do another one.
If we have any more, we'll keep it to ourselves.
Or
to stand true to discretion.
We might share just one. Just one. This one body you can find here.
Just enough to look. Again, why? Do you have puppies also in this?
Marketing? No, puppies will kill our marketing.
Yeah.
Okay. Human dead bodies, people love.
As long as. Yeah.
Those sell.
Correct. Got it.
Where are we going?
So that's predominantly why it's not easy.
Yeah.
I think we've covered the ground. Anything else that we have not covered, Bogus, it's easy for us to say that
Part 2.
It's discreet.
It is discreet, yeah.
It is supremely discreet. That's something that you really need to dig it out of us. Yeah. You gotta go Bogus's way of torturing us for us to open our mouths about what are the other points. So if you really want to know, you can write and tell us.
Yeah, and where do you write to us? On Instagram.
@_ThyGap.
On Twitter and Vero.
@ThyGap.
And our email is
mindthyGap@discreet. gmail.com.
And that is our episode of why discretion is not easy.
It is not easy.
And as we always say, ThyGap Podcast, subscribe
and share.
Keep it a secret.